Christina, thank you so much for coming in today.
Hello, hello. Hi, hello. Thanks again for having me back.
I am so excited to be with you again. I know I've talked to you more than I have my dog in the last couple of days.
Oh no. Go back to the dog. Go back to the puppy.
Telepathic.
Yeah, you could do
Mhm.
some telepathy.
Yeah, he's making me get my skill set up. So
Well, we're getting ready for next week, so I'm so grateful.
I am so thrilled you're coming. I realized a couple of days ago, we didn't really talk about what people should expect when they get to come in and have some sessions with you. So I want to invite anybody who's watching, please feel free to ask a question in the comments. I'll be checking the comments here in a bit. So if you have a question for Christina, please put it in. We're just going to be on a short time because both of us are obligated elsewhere tonight as well.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
So yeah, you wanted to talk about what people should expect at one of the gatherings. Okay, so I can explain currently what to expect, but it's always evolving. I'm always learning, things are always changing. And so just kind of exciting because you could watch the progress over time if interested, or if I ever come back, something else might happen. But that'd be great. Yeah. The gist, if it goes well, which I don't see why it wouldn't. But the gist is, since last August, when I had a massive synchronicity happen and I had my spirit team nudge me to go for a drive, and I know how to pay attention to those nudges. And I ended up turning around in a parking lot, and in that parking lot where I was turning around to go back home was a brand new metaphysical shop and yoga studio called 3 Spiral Studio in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. And I said, I know a sign when I see one. So I walked in, I ended up talking to the owners, and before you know it, 3 weeks, a month later, I'm doing my first public small trance channeling event. And I was very nervous, and I still get nervous every time, which is good because it keeps me humble. But it was from the spirit world. It was a nudging from the spirit world to try a public gathering. And it went extremely well, and it's now gone very well. So grateful. It's gone very well every time since in multiple states. But what you can expect on average, if you would like, you can buy a ticket, you can just observe, or you can be there as someone who wants to connect to a loved one in the spirit world. So I'm an evidential trance medium, which means I talk to the spirit world and I bring through specific evidence so that you know that they are really there with you. But I go into a partial trance state. So I'm at the level, there's many levels, but I'm at the level where I can still kind of control it and I can hear it and I can still kind of remember. But I'm back here, so my ego goes back here. So the only rule is to not say my name and to kind of have people not be arriving late. So everybody kind of comes on time and then we get settled, But we get settled and then I go into a trance state and my spirit team has a British accent and a funny laugh, my current spirit team. And so you'll get to talk with them. And they will immediately go into doing readings and calling in your loved ones. Usually people write down on a piece of paper that I never see their first name and then the name of the loved one they want to talk with. And what's really neat about that is that almost every time the loved one they want to talk with comes through, almost every time. They will step into the room and they will step and stand behind their sitter, their loved one in the room. And my spirit team, be careful I don't drop into trance here. Something's happening to my throat. But my spirit team will say that again. Say that again.
They can come through and tell us what
No. But they will talk with your loved one in spirit, and then we'll translate and communicate what they're saying. Right. So as many people already probably know, but if you don't, mental evidential mediumship me and my spirit team are doing the talking to your loved ones in spirit. You might feel them though. They often put their hands on the shoulders of their loved one, and sometimes people feel that. There has been physical phenomena happening, so lights flickering or my camera going off suddenly, or there's been, sometimes you'll hear knocks. You can always tell when it's a spirit knock because you can hear it and everyone else can hear it, but you can't place it in the room. So you
Right.
can all hear the knock, but you don't know where it came from, right? If I knock over here, you'd be able to hear it. You'd know it was coming from right here, but with a spirit knock, so at any rate, you don't know where it's coming from, right? Yeah. So I go into a partial trance state, and we translate what your loved ones are saying. Usually they put their name and the loved one's name on a piece of paper, and then you or someone who's sitting next to me picks those names. And it's neat to see that because you get to see that everyone who gets a reading was randomly chosen, so people don't feel like if they didn't get a reading, it was on purpose or something, that they don't feel bad about it. But we try to do as many readings as we can, and we even tell you who's there for that person before you even read the name they wrote down, which is a lot of fun to see. So the spirit world, my spirit team will often tell that person, okay, I think you want to talk with a man, and I think it's your father, because that's who I'm sensing, that's who we're sensing, that's who's here. And then you'll see on your paper that it'll say dad, right? So we often like to show that we can already tell who's there before you ever read the paper, kind of like a mini billet reading. But then we just go through the evidence, and then once you know for fact who is there because of the evidence given, then there's usually a lot more communication back and forth, some messages, a lot of healing tears, often from healing messages, and a lot of laughter when appropriate. My team is ridiculous sometimes. They just love to make people laugh, and I mean, they're funnier than me.
But you know that laughter raises the vibration.
Exactly.
And they know
Exactly.
that. So why
Yeah.
wouldn't they laugh?
Right.
They don't
That's right.
join.
And
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. And laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. Laughter through healing tears.
This is what I wanted you to explain to people, because I don't think we did a really good job of explaining to them that they have the opportunity to come in. This is different than a gallery,
Right.
because when you're doing a gallery, you've got the medium up front, and they're going, well, I feel somebody over in this part of the room. So this is different because they have written the name down. They are asking for that particular person. I wonder how many of you people would ever write down, like, I'd be really careful of the family I invited into public.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And don't write more than 2 names down, or don't write the word, let's just see who comes, or anyone, because then, oof, it gets a little bit hectic, it gets a little crowded. But after the readings, I can usually hold a trance sometimes up to 2.5 hours, and people can quietly get up to use the restroom, to get a drink, to do that. So we are moving about a little bit during, because it is a longer 2 to 3 hours. So people can get up quietly and stuff like that, but it is usually a locked event and people are on time, and I'm very appreciative of that. And so
Leaving early.
sorry, go ahead.
No leaving early.
Yeah, unless there's an emergency.
Right.
We're not going to force people to stay, but it is
Right.
helpful. It is helpful for the energy if people are there for the entire time. It's helpful. But that the only rule is not to say my name, and also not to come in there thinking you're going to prove that all of this is not real. This is not the time or place or space for that. There is plenty of science and interviews and credible resources on my website. I used to be a philosophy professor. I know how evidence works, and I know that healthy skepticism is real and good and welcome. But cynicism and diehard skepticism and people who just are convinced it's not real, this is not the place for you to try to prove it's not real, because this is a healing space. And there are people, and you will see this at the gatherings, sometimes there are people who don't mind that it's a public gathering and they want to be there, and their children come, their children they've lost, as Michelle, sadly you're familiar with. And so it's a sacred space, but it's also a lot of healing and fun and joyous and evidential, and yeah.
And I want to speak to that healing space because I want people to really understand. I went to see David Thompson in Santa Fe, and my son came through.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that was he smelled like Axe body spray. And nobody in that room knew that I had an aversion to that scent, but my son. So there is absolutely no way, without a doubt, I knew it was him because I smelled the Axe body spray.
Right.
Manifested his eyes for me, and we held hands.
Right. So you had an actual physical seance
Yes.
experience, just so everyone understands. With physical
Right.
mediumship, everyone in the room sees and hears the same thing, but you
Right.
saw your son's eyes and he held your hands. And I've been to seance, so I know that's real.
Well, and the funny thing, the best thing about that, and I want to make sure everybody clearly understands, I had been contemplating not doing this work because my grief was overwhelming. My son was very much, we talked telepathically all the time. We were very connected. And I was seriously contemplating, why am I doing this? This is too much to ask. My son is dead. I'm just done. And having that experience, it was a blessing because I realized this is why I do this work. This is our goal, is to provide that healing opportunity. So in that moment, in that seance, I got a miraculous healing. And I really would encourage anybody who's listening to us today to understand how important that healing is, because we still have our destiny to do. We still have our path to fulfill. And you are being so gracious and so wonderful to come out here to offer that to people. I just want them to understand how really powerful this healing can be in a time where we have lost so many people due to illnesses, stress.
COVID, gun violence, all of it.
And so you're going to be here to help those people who have had those losses. So
well, and just to thank you for saying all that, and I'm so sorry for your loss. I know we've talked a little bit about your son, and thank you for saying all that. But as you know, we're just the channel, we're the radio station, we're the tool, we're the instrument.
Without you being the radio station, nobody knows what dial to get to. So
right, it's a special whatever dial, right? Yeah. But thank you to Source Energy and also to the loved ones in spirit, because your loved ones have to learn how to meld with us in order for that to happen also. And I am working on my physical phenomena mediumship, and I don't know all of where it's headed. I've been told some stuff about the Ascended Masters, but currently, what's happening currently, what I can offer is a partial trance state where you can talk to the spirit team, but with the primary focus of us talking with your loved ones in spirit, one person or two people. When I do my private one-to-one readings over Zoom or in a private party, lots of people come, up to 5 people or more, whole families. I did a private party recently for a family in Wisconsin, and all of their friends and family came. I mean, for 3 hours, we were just all having a family party. And then their lights went crazy in their kitchen all of a sudden. And then in another one of their homes later that night, in 2 different floors, 10 minutes apart, all the lights went crazy. So the family was having a blast all night long, way after we were done with but at the public gatherings, so everyone can get a reading, or as many as possible. I ask you to just ask for one person, and they usually come in, stand behind you, and then we go from there. And at the end, the last thing I try to do is a live spirit photography demonstration, sometimes transfiguration, under red light, but a live spirit photography demonstration. And I can't guarantee anything 100%, but they come every time at all these events. So you will see balls of light flying around the room, time and date stamped.
I gotta tell you is my grandson he doubted what I said and he saw an orb and
Yeah.
then he was like, he took a picture of it. We were in Old Town. We were looking up, we saw the orb and he said, oh my, and he took a picture. And these are the things that we recognize as, being evidence that this isn't non-existent. This is, they're
Right.
here. They
They
are.
are here.
And
That's right. And they're not dust. It's not, as far as orbs go, which I get the orbs all the time, every time since 2007, and did a live demonstration for some scientists this past year in Salt Lake City at the annual IONS conference. But this, is not dust or water particles. They have faces inside. They have geometric patterns. They're different colors. They leave light traces. And the best part is I have repeatability. And so we can bring them to your event to show everybody and then ask them to even go around the room into certain places. And they will. They are sentient beings. If we want to call them that, they said. I have a good definition from trusted sources on my website on the spirit photography page of what orbs are, from several trusted sources. So anyone can go look there. I mean, tons of resources, podcasts, interviews. I've done podcast interviews with others like Alison Dubois or Kai Muga. So those are really worth people's time. But if you want to get any information about the orbs or my interviews with others, it's all there. It's all spirit photos, client testimonials. So I just look forward to it next week. I look so forward to it. 3 events, 2 public and 1 a little more private, but I look forward to it.
And I want everybody to know that where you get to go see these and read up on it is at drchris1111.com.
Yeah, you can go to ChristinaRawls.com, like my name. You can go to ChristinaRawls.com, but it'll connect you right back to, it's a very easy website to use, but it'll connect you to the bigger one. And there's so much stuff there, especially if you're grieving the loss of a loved one. There's a grieving resource guide. There's helping parents heal connections. I know that you can't really speak to others grieving, but people feel lost, they commit suicide, they can't get out of depression, it hurts. And I just want people to know that life does go on after physical death and you will see them again. That doesn't help much sometimes, but it's a fact and we can prove it. So
I can tell you it helped me immensely. So you're
right. Yeah.
It's really beneficial. I do want to stress with people that when you get there, you have to scroll down so that they find the Resonant Essentials event.
Right.
They need to click there and they need to sign when they go to PayPal where they pay to get their ticket. They need to put in what night.
Right. That's right. And it's very easy to scroll down my page and see the event date, and then the registration link it says register. It goes right to my business PayPal, which is safe. It's my Orb Magic business PayPal. But if people don't want to use PayPal, understandable. They can ask you, pay in the store, which some already have, or they can email me and I can send them an invoice from my business website. But yeah.
Absolutely. So I just want to make sure everybody knows all of that because I know we're both running a little short of time. I'm going to check.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me see if there's any.
But February 24th or 25th, next weekend, specify your date. Now, since we did the first Facebook Live, we've gotten several more tickets. So we have a few seats left for Friday and Saturday, but they are starting to fill up and I'm so grateful. So yeah, we want people to get their ticket between now and next Thursday if they can, so we can keep track.
I also want to tell people if you're not from Albuquerque, but you know somebody here locally who might enjoy coming in for the program, the experience, and the healing, please, please, please forward this video. It will be on our YouTube. So thank you, Christina, for doing this really brief, quick step in. I greatly appreciate it. I just look forward to hanging out and, maybe having.
I have a friend driving. I have two friends driving into Albuquerque. I am so grateful. I happen to have two people who live nearby who are going to be there. So I'm looking forward to meeting you and making new friends also. And
Right.
you're a tireless worker for, all of this stuff. So I want to thank you for allowing me to come there and bring all this with, to you all. And, people who are signed up are meant to be there, because we know there are no accidents.
Next time you come, since we have our sound bath healer that is amazing and talented, she's doing a sound bath tomorrow night. Next time you come, because I'm throwing it out there. Next time you come,
You're gonna have another one.
I would love to have you come in at a time we can schedule a sound bath. So
Oh
you get
yeah, and
do some relaxation. She is marvelous. She's very
yes,
she has studied with some of the greats. This is not just, I found and I took a couple of classes. This woman has made this a complete life and passion. So
well, I would love to do like partner up with her or something, or we can do like a shared event, because shamanic drumming and sound actually put a lot of us, so I'm not special, but it puts me right into trance, and it puts a lot of people right into trance. You can actually look up, if anyone's interested, on Aeon Magazine, AEON. I wrote a commissioned piece called The Philosophy of Sound, where you can see that my brain, I don't think in images, I think in sound. And so I would love to do that because I think in sound. And we were just like, we could do all kinds of trance work.
that would be marvelous. But then we'd have to go to the salt caves. The salt
Yay! Well, pictures are really good there. I've found a lot of orb pictures. They love that. They love the salt caves. So
we have
yay!
to spend time to play.
Yes, to play.
So-
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Michelle.
We will see you soon next week. If you guys haven't got your tickets, please look at this beautiful face and know that she is talented and can bring you healing. And we thank Spirit, because you know what? Without them, we'd just be crazy old ladies running around the room thinking that we know something.
Right.
They're
That's right.
of this opportunity.
It's all of us. It's
Yeah.
all of us. We're all connected. And I'm so excited because I'm in northern Minnesota in the middle of winter to come to New Mexico for a little bit of sunshine. So I love it here. I just got here, but I look forward to getting some sunshine in New Mexico. I've never been to New Mexico. I used to live in southern Texas in the Rio Grande Valley, but I've never been to New Mexico. So I can't wait. Can't wait.
I've been at Lake Oscowinemaki and Brainerd, Minnesota, and I can tell you I did it, and it was over the Thanksgiving stretch, and there was no snow. I was so amazed.
Oh, you got lucky.
I got to
Well,
sit by
it's
the
one of
lake.
it's a very beautiful place to live in the summertime. It's ideal. It's idyllic. It has the most lakes of any state in the country, and it's as a perfect summer. But the winters are harsh. So, but thank you, everybody. Thank you.
First, mwah, love you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
see you next week.
Sounds good. Bye now.
Hey, bye.